Next, we will try to understand the second application of IC 555, that is a stable multivibrator using IC 555 timer. Okay, so it is a stable multivibrator, using IC 555 timer. Okay, a stable multivibrator using IC 555 timer. First we have to go to the basic internal schematic diagram of IC 555 timer. Okay, now what do you mean by a stable? A stable means there is no stable state. Okay, so you don't have to give trigger. The output will remain 0 for a small duration of time. Again it will become 1, again it will become 0, and it will keep on changing its stable state. So there is no stable state, that is why the name is a stable multivibrator. Which this astable multivibrator, we can use it as clock pulse. Okay, so see how the circuit diagram will be. The circuit diagram has 3 resistors connected in series between a positive supply and ground, R. The potential between these 2 points will give you the reference voltage for the 2 comparators. The reference voltage at this point is plus VCC by 3, and here it will be plus 2 by 3 of VCC. How it comes, I have already explained you in the internal architecture of IC 555 timer. Okay, so these 2 things will be given as input for the 2 comparator 1, comparator 2. The first reference voltage is given as input to the non-inverting terminal. The other terminal is given to the inverting, which is pin number 2, the trigger input of IC 555 timer. Similarly, plus 2 by 3 of VCC, this is the fixed potential at pin number 5, which is given to the inverting terminal of the comparator, and to the non-inverting terminal, that is pin number 6, that is the another trigger input, that is threshold. Okay, the output of these 2 comparators are given to SR flip-flop, SR Q bar. At the Q output we connect a transistor. Okay, Q bar output, this is the output pin, which is pin number 3. Okay, so potential is applied at pin number 8, so this is pin number 8 and 4, because pin number 4 is the reset pin, and it should not reset while the circuit is being operated. So pin number 4 is connected to plus VCC always. Pin number 1 is connected to ground. Okay, so this is pin number 1, this is pin number 2, this is pin number 3, pin number 4, 5, 6, and this pin is called as pin 7, which is the discharge pin. Now if you remember the diagram for monostable multivibrator, what we have done is we have connected one external resistance and capacitor. Okay, so when the transistor, if you remember like this, okay, I'll draw that, one resistance and one capacitor. Okay, this is for monostable multivibrator. Okay, so what happens is, when the capacitor is, when Q is 0, the transistor is cut off. When the transistor is cut off, it acts as open switch. When the transistor is open, the capacitor charges through resistance R. Okay, when the capacitor charges through resistance R, voltage across capacitor is given by Vc is equal to Q by C. That means as the charge increases, voltage across capacitor increases. Okay, as soon as Q becomes 1, the transistor will go into saturation region. When the transistor goes into saturation region, all the charge in the capacitor will discharge through this transistor to ground. That is why pin number 7 is called as discharge pin. Okay, in monostable, what we did is what we got is the output of the voltage across capacitor will be initially 0. The capacitor will charge up to some point, and then suddenly it will become 0. The amount of time period where the capacitor is charging to a particular point set, that is +2/3 of VCC, the output remains 1 and then it comes back to its initial state. Okay, so that was monostable multivibrator. But in astable, you don't have to give trigger, right? The output should by default change from 0 to 1 or 1 to 0. Okay, so there should be a charging time and there should be a discharging time. See, what happens is, while the capacitor is being discharged, there is no resistance in that path. Okay, so capacitor will discharge immediately. While charging, there was a resistance R, so it will take some time constant, right? So what we have to do is to design a stable multivibrator, we have to introduce one more resistance in the path of discharging, in discharging path. So I will call this as R1 and I will call this as R2. Okay, or I can say, we can call it as RA and RB, and one capacitor which is connected to ground. Okay, so that is what we will do. So that is the modification which we have done in case of a stable multivibrator. And if you remember, in a stable multivibrator, in a monostable multivibrator, pin number 6 was connected to pin number 7. Here what we will do is, we will connect pin number 2 and pin number 6 together. Okay, pin number 2 and pin number 6, which are the triggering pin for the two comparators, comparator 1 and comparator 2, and this point will be connected across a capacitor whose voltage is given by Q by C. Okay, Q by C. So we have to this is the construction part, of course, and we have to understand the circuit operation by assuming certain initial condition. Okay, so the initial condition which I am going to consider is that Q is 1, therefore Q bar is 0. That means your output is 0. Okay, so the output is 0. Now when Q is 1, that means transistor is in saturation state. Okay, saturation state, that means it works as on state, therefore the capacitor will discharge. And when the capacitor is discharged, that means Q will be 0, and Q is 0, that means VC, that is voltage across capacitor, is 0. Now this voltage across capacitor, that means voltage between this point and ground, and it is given to both pin number 2 and pin number 6. Okay, so what is the potential at pin number 2? 0 volt. What is the potential at pin number 2? Sorry, pin number 6 is 0 volt, pin number 2 is 0 volt. Okay, now what is the condition for the output of the comparator to become 1? Output of comparator 1 will be equal to 1 when potential at P is less than plus VCC by 3, and output of comparator 2 will be equal to 1 when potential at pin 6, potential at pin 2 and here pin 6 is greater than plus 2 by 3 of VCC. Okay, so this is the initial condition. This we have already understood, as this is working as comparator. Comparator will always be non-inverting. The output of the comparator will be always non-inverting minus the inverting with then infinite gain. So the output will be either plus VCC or minus VCC. In digital we consider it as 1 and 0. So the output will be either 1 or 0 depending upon the difference between the two. And what should be the difference? It will be non-inverting minus the inverting. So if the potential at pin number 2 is less than plus VCC by 3, what happens is the difference between these two will be positive. So the output will be 1. Therefore we said that the output of the comparator 1 will be 1 when potential at 2 is less than plus VCC by 3. Similarly, non-inverting minus the inverting, if the difference between these two is positive, the output will be 1. So potential at pin number 6 should be greater than 2 VCC by 3 for the output to be 1. So these are the some initial conditions. Okay, so again what we started with is, we said that Q is 1, Q bar is 0. Our output Q bar is 0 initially, and when 0, that means Q is 1, transistor is in saturation region, capacitor is completely discharged, Vc is equal to Q by C. As Q is 0, Vc is equal to 0. This 0 potential is given to pin number 2 as well as pin number 6. Now see, out of these two conditions, which one is satisfied? Potential at pin number 2 is 0, which is less than plus VCC by 3, less than plus VCC by 3. That means this condition is satisfied. The output of this comparator will be 1. And here pin number 6 potential is 0 volt, which is less than plus 2 by 3 VCC, but this condition fails. So output of this will be 0. Now, which makes S is equal to 0, R is equal to 1 of SR flip-flop. And when S is equal to 0, R is equal to 1, the flip-flop resets. The flip-flop resets. Resets means Q will become 0, Q bar will become 1. So the output has by default changed to 1, 0 to 1. It has gone from 0 to 1. You don't have to give any triggering. You just have to connect the trigger inputs to the voltage across capacitor. Now, as Q is equal to 0, the transistor is cut off. The transistor is cut off. That means it works as open circuit. When the transistor is in open circuit, of course, capacitor cannot discharge. So now capacitor will start charging. And in the charging path, there are two resistance, RA and RB. So the charging time TC is given by 0.693 RA plus RB, into C. Okay, TC is equal to 0.693 RA plus RB into C. This is a charging time. So now capacitor is charging. That means voltage across the charge is being stored in the capacitor, therefore Q will increase. When Q is increases, voltage across capacitor, that is VC, will increase. Now at some point the voltage across capacitor will be greater than plus VCC by 3. See the condition. Okay, now say the potential at this point is greater than plus VCC by 3. Of course, the same potential will be there, greater than plus VCC by 3. Now see the conditions of the comparator. Pin number 2 potential is greater than plus VCC by 3. For the output to be 1, it should be less than plus VCC by 3. As it is greater than plus VCC by 3, the output will be 0. Similarly, potential at pin number 6 should be greater than 2 by 3 of VCC. It has just crossed plus VCC by 3, so it has not crossed plus 2 by 3 of VCC. Therefore, the potential at pin number 6 is still less than plus 2 by 3 of VCC. So this condition also fails. So which makes both the output of the comparator to go to 0, which makes S is equal to 0, R is equal to 0. When both are 0, there is no change. Q will still be 0, Q bar will be still 1, transistor will be still in cutoff region, the capacitor will still be charging. Okay, at some point the capacitor potential will be greater than plus 2 by 3 of VCC. So potential will be greater than plus 2 by 3 of VCC. So it will be same for both, plus 2 by 3 of VCC. So at this point what happens is, again potential at pin number 2 is greater than plus VCC by 3, the output will be 0. Here now in case of second comparator, potential at pin number 6 is greater than 2 VCC by 3. That's why the condition gets satisfied, and this is 1, which makes S is equal to 1, R is equal to 0. S is equal to 1, R is equal to 0. What is this condition? S stands for set. Trigger is given to S. S stands for set. Set means Q will be 1, Q bar will be 0. तो जो आउटपुट आपका 1 हुआ था वो अपने आप वापस, जब जैसे ही कैपेसिटर का पोटेंशियल ग्रेटर देन प्लस 2 by 3 VCC हुआ, द आउटपुट हैज गॉन बैक टू 0. द आउटपुट हैज गॉन बैक टू 0. दैट मीन्स S is, when S is equal to 1, R is equal to 0, Q will be set equal to 1, Q bar will be 0. And as soon as Q becomes 1, the transistor goes into saturation region. And as soon as the transistor goes into saturation region, the capacitor gets path to discharge. Of course, it will discharge through RB, through the transistor to ground. So discharging time TD is 0.693 RB into C. Okay, so this is the formula which we can derive. So capacitor had discharge. Okay, the capacitor will discharge. See how it will be. The capacitor will charge up to +2/3 of VCC. Let's say initially the voltage across capacitor be 0 volt. Okay, so 0, it will charge up to +2/3 of VCC, and then it will discharge. And discharging path, you have RB, so it will take some time to discharge. As soon as this is plus VCC by 3, this is +2/3 of VCC. So as soon as it crosses plus VCC by 3, the condition changes. Okay, that means there will be discharging time, and as soon as the potential across capacitor while discharging, if it goes less than plus VCC by 3, means now pin number 2, this condition will satisfy, this condition will be not satisfied. So this is 0, this is 1, S is 0, R is 1, Q will again become 0, Q bar will again become 1. So that triggering will keep on happening. So as soon as it crosses plus VCC by 3, again it will be triggered. The output will again, capacitor output will again become high. Okay, it will start charging. Again, as it reaches +2/3, again it will discharge. So the point for which the capacitor charges, that value is 1, and the point for which the capacitor discharges, that value will be 0. Again, this is 1, and this is 1, and this is 0. So capacitor will discharge, charge, discharge, charge, and the output will keep on changing from 0, 1, 0, 1. So as I said, a stable multivibrator, you don't have to give any external triggering. The output will keep on changing from 0 to 1 and 1 to 0 by its own. As there is no stable state, the circuit is called as a stable multivibrator. Okay, so these are the mentioned values for charging time and discharging time and total time period. Total time period means from this point, one complete cycle, this will be T. Okay, this is TC, charging time, and this is TD, discharging time. So total time will be T. So T will be TC plus TD. So it will be 0.693 RA plus 2 RB into C. So this is the formula for time period, and frequencies F is equal to 1 upon T. So 1 upon 0.693 RA plus 2 RB into C. That will be the formula for frequency, and 1 upon 0.693 is 1.44. So it will be 1.44 RA plus 2 RB into C. So this is the formula for frequency which will be generated at the output of a stable multivibrator using IC 555 timer. And as I have told you, this circuit can be used as a clock pulse. So you can increase or decrease the clock frequency by changing the value of RA, RB and C. So this is the working part of a stable multivibrator. I hope you have understood. There is one more diagram based on the IC. So IC, if you draw like this, 8 and 4 always connected to plus VCC. Pin number 1 is always connected to ground. Pin number 5 is connected through a capacitor of 0.01 microfarad always. Okay, pin number 3 is for output. This is pin number 7, 6 and 2. In case of a stable multivibrator, pin 6 and 2 are connected together. So what is between pin number 7 and plus VCC? Pin number 7 is this. Between pin number 7 and plus VCC you have RA. So draw RA. What is between pin number 7 and pin number 6 and 2? What is the point of pin number 6 and 2? This point is this one. Between these 2 points we have RB. So there is RB, and then between pin number 6 and 2 and ground we have a capacitor. So we have a capacitor connected like this. Okay, so this is, see, so this is the diagram with respect to the IC chip, IC555 timer. Okay, so of course you, for explanation part, you have to draw this diagram, but also you can draw this diagram for to show what external circuits we are going to connect. The only external circuit which we connect is RA, RB and C. So I hope you have understood the working of our stable multivibrator.